Hello and welcome back to Virtue's Last Reward. In the last episode, I figured out the secrets behind Accelavir being able to be collected and made in 2038, but somehow we have a solution today. I don't know why, but let's keep going and escape this laboratory hell. The lock for the door. Right now it says lock. You guys ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Just get it over with. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. I found it, as well as the gold root.
Hey, hold on a minute.
What's up? Sorry, I was doing an impression.
There's something... Nah, I guess there's a couple of things I want to double check.
And that is what? Whatever these fucking things are? I never got to look at them.
Well, one of them's not really significant, I guess.
Oh, well, okay, I was just about to say, well, maybe if you knew of, like, survivors of Radical 6, maybe you also have the DNA to survive. I don't know. We could have tried that.
Huh?
First off, this machine.
Was it?
We didn't even end up using this thing, did we?
No. Yeah,
I was just wondering what it was.
I know what it is. Well, I'm not sure how I'm supposed to answer that. Look at the side here. There's a name or something. IG Replicator.
Replicator makes it sound like it makes copies of stuff.
So it's like a copy machine?
Yeah, probably copies IG, whatever that is.
IG. Oh. Where is that? Where is that? Researcher's journal. Oh, okay. Accelavir, yep, have that. Immunoglobulin. What was immunoglobulin about? What was the significance of that? Small computer terminal. Oh, guess I haven't looked at this in a while. Immunoglobulin. What? Accelavir. Door puzzle. Immunoglobulin. Why is immunoglobulin important? Also, how many more spots do I have? I have 3 more secrets. 1 spot, I assume. 1 and 2. Probably like 4 here and 4 in the last place. Yeah, I would assume. Immunoglobulin. What was the significance of this? Immunoglobulin replicator. Immunoglobulin. Immunoglobulin. Where did we first learn about that? Was it from Luna for some reason? I don't know. Any ideas?
Who knows? Ice cream by the gallon?
Of course! This machine must be here so we can just make all the ice cream we want! Are you nuts? You're one idiotic girl, you know that? In other words, an IG.
Oh, good one.
Hey, this isn't the time for stupid jokes.
Sorry.
There's a helpless child back there in the infirmary who needs our help.
Why are you so... He was right, of course. I hung my head in shame.
At any rate, as long as we don't know what IG means, we can't do anything with this machine, right?
That's right.
Makes sense. On to the second issue. Sigma, you found a journal and some sort of vial in the safe, right?
Yep. Yeah.
The vial. Could you show it to me again?
Why?
I didn't really get a good look at it before.
You're not gonna swipe it, are you?
Guys were in there so close I could barely see it. Was it really Accelavir?
Yeah, definitely. At least that's what it says it is. As I spoke, I pulled the vial out of my pocket. See? It's written right there on the label. Accelavir.
You really are an idiot.
Huh?
Although I guess in this case the G in IG stands for guy.
What? I don't... The words were barely out of my mouth when he moved. Before I could blink, the vial disappeared from my hand. That's why he called me stupid. Hey! What gives?
What are you doing?
Is he going to give it to himself? Dio slipped the vial quickly into his coat.
Oh, don't worry. I'll keep it safe. I'll even give it back to you later.
No, not later. Give it back now.
I don't think so. If you want it back, you're gonna have to listen to my request.
And that is what?
Request?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Kick him in the
If
balls.
you want this back, in the next AB game, you have to choose ally.
Ally? Wait, is that why you took the medicine? To blackmail me? I mean, we're gonna kind of get the same route with him escaping if we choose ally, because he's... Is he betrayed in this route? I was with Tenmyoji here. Did he ally with Alice? Or Luna in this route? I honestly... No. He allies with Luna when I go with Alice, I think. Right? Is that why you took the medicine? To blackmail me?
Horrible! You're using Quark's life as leverage.
Well, I've got some really good reasons to do so. I'll be happy to give it back if you just do what I say.
I didn't realize until they started to hurt that I'd curled my hands into fists. Okay, I didn't know what they were talking about. If Dio would only give me an opening.
I wouldn't try and take it back by force if I were you. You make any sudden moves and I'll smash it.
He patted his pocket gently.
Oh, and one more thing. Don't tell those other idiots that you found some Excelavir in here. I hear one word about it, and the next thing you hear will be little bits of glass shattering on the floor.
Damn it.
That's not fair.
This game isn't about compassion. It's not about being clever. It's about one thing. How well you can manipulate people to your advantage. How unfair you can be. So, what are you gonna do?
Is this Stephen Bloom? Hold on. Hold on. Now that I'm focusing on his voice, hold on. I'm taking over for a second. If I look up Dio, it's just gonna VLR Dio voice actor. Liam O'Brien. Oh, okay. Yeah. What other roles do I know him as? I could go through this entire list of the voices that he's gone through. I would have to go on my own time to look at that. Genuinely kind of interesting. But, like, just the way that he said some word immediately made me think of Toonami Tom. I was like, wait, hold on. But that doesn't sound like him the rest of the time. It was just one specific word, and I don't even remember which word it was.
Ready to promise me you'll pick ally?
Fine. I promise.
Sigma!
Oh, I knew you'd say it eventually. I'm glad you understand how this works. But don't think about trying anything funny. Break your promise and... well, you know what happens. See you chumps later. I'm really looking forward to the next round.
With one last self-satisfied chuckle, Dio strutted out of the room.
Are you really going to do what he says?
What choice do we have? Yeah,
Sigma, you've only got one BP right now.
that's true.
If we choose ally and he chooses betray...
I know. I'll drop to -1, and that means I'll be penalized.
But that means...
Look, it's not like I want to, alright? If we don't do as he says, then he'll destroy the medicine. If he does that, then Quark will...
So you're going to die to save his life? That's... Why would you do that?
In all honesty, I was terrified. My choice was far from foregone conclusion. From a foregone conclusion. Well, we should get back to the upper floor. Everybody else is probably finished already. I bet they're waiting for us. So we finally have an ending where I'll just be killed by punishment. Interesting. Well, technically I died in the other one, but that was because of us choosing not to go through. This is more so someone's actual choice to kill me. I didn't wait for Clover's response. Somber mood that is just taking the elevator down. And technically we're with Dio, so we should see him open up the AB room. Which sucks. Okay. It's opening.
An ambidex gate has been opened. 45 minutes remain until ambidex game polling closes.
Sorry, I went ahead and cracked it open a bit early.
Dio. In one of his hands was a moon key. He twirled it around like a veteran gambler, grinned, and slid it back into his pocket.
You don't mind, right? I figured you and Clover would get up here right away. Besides, I thought it'd be best to get this done soon before you lose your nerve. I don't know about you, I'm really looking forward to the next round.
I glanced around at the warehouse. Oh! Hey guys, Alice and Kay were back. As well as Vi. And, of course, Clover. Where's Tenmyoji and the rest of them?
They're in the infirmary.
Oh, okay. So... Huh. Interesting. So Dio didn't force everyone to run here quickly. Cool.
We carried Quark to one of the beds. Tenmyoji and Luna are looking after him.
I see.
How's he doing?
Well, it's hard to say. He seems to be sleeping soundly, but beyond that, there's really no way to know.
No change then, huh?
Right.
So what was your room, Sigma?
A laboratory.
Is that so?
Did it look like the kind of place where they'd be researching viruses and DNA and those kinds of things?
Yeah, it did.
Was there any of that Excelivir?
Don't tell those other idiots that you found some Excelivir in here. I hear one word about it, and the next thing you hear will be little bits of glass shattering on the floor.
My eyes flicked to Dio for a moment. No. Nothing. Beside me, Clover bit her lip.
I see.
So how'd it go with you? Find anything interesting? Fi only shook her head. With a unison of movement that almost looked choreographed, Alice and Kay shrugged. None of that was necessary at all. None of that text was necessary. None of this was necessary. This is the only part that... God, I hate when... I hate over-the-top writing. In books, it's fine, but there's no fucking point to it in a game. People may like it, but it doesn't serve a purpose other than just adding fluff if it can be explained in a shorter way.
We still got about 40 minutes left until voting ends.
What are you gonna do?
I'm a little curious about that lab you found. I thought I might go take a peek at it.
I'll show you the way then.
That would be wonderful.
I think I'll go have a look at the room Alice, Kay, and Tenmyoji found. Never know. Maybe you missed something. Perhaps there's some Excelivir hidden somewhere in there.
What a bastard.
Then I shall take you there.
What about you two? Where are you going?
Huh. I think I'll start by heading over to the infirmary to see how Quark's doing.
Then I will too.
Glad that's settled.
She nodded to Clover and they disappeared through the magenta door. Dio and Kay followed a few footsteps behind. Okay then. Guess we should be going too.
Hold on.
What's up?
Show me that journal first.
Okay.
Dio told me about it. You wouldn't tell me anything about the lab except that you found a journal with, his words, some sort of bullshit language. He said you had it, so I was hoping I could take a look.
Yeah. One sec. I dug the journal out of my pocket and handed it to Vi. She began to flip through the pages, her eyes quickly scanning each one. Well, then again, now that I think about it, this is a Japanese game, so if it is in Latin, but like English letters, I don't know why they wouldn't be able to identify that. That it actually, like they could have easily just said that it's in English, but not known what the translations were.
This is Latin.
Okay. Latin? You mean you can read it?
Yeah, with time and a dictionary.
So, in other words, no.
Pardon me for not being able to translate a dead language on the fly. This looks like some kind of research log. It's not going to be some sort of, I took the dog for a walk today. It was nice kind of stuff. I can understand a little of it. Mostly conjunctions and things like that.
I mean, isn't the whole reason why we have binomial nomenclature of the genus and species shit, it's supposed to be in Latin? Because it's basically a dead language. But it's supposed to be a constant for every country in the world to use.
But most of these words I've never even seen before.
Vi started to leaf through the book again as she spoke. Then suddenly she stopped.
Wait.
What?
I can read this one. Page 216. This isn't research notes. It looks like a personal entry.
What's it say?
Don't rush me.
Okay,
This is
sorry.
gonna take a minute.
So how about those Dodgers, huh?
Interesting. All right, I think I got it. It looks like they're talking about Radical 6.
Yep. What? Why are they talking about that?
Not sure.
We're gonna learn about 2038?
Let me read it to you. Keep in mind I'm paraphrasing.
Wait a minute. It just dawned on me. What if we've been here for years? It's not just a few days. What if we've been here for an entire decade and they actually do have a solution to Radical 6? Huh. When the body is infected with Radical 6, the processing speed of the brain is reduced. If we assume the brain currently operates on a 1-to-1 basis, with regards to time, Radical 6 reduces this to a 1 to a radical of 1/6, or approximately 1.048. This is approximate. This means that for each second that passes outside, the patient feels that only 0.408 seconds have passed inside. Therefore, when 1 second has passed inside, approximately 2.45 seconds, or radical 6 seconds, have passed outside. In other words, when 10 seconds pass in the real world, a patient infected with Radical 6 would feel as if only 4 seconds had passed. This is why the virus has been termed Radical 6. Radical is another term for what is known as the root operation, the function inverse to the taking of a power. What the fuck? In a less mathematical sense, it can also be used to refer to something as an extreme that is extreme or severe. Those infected by Radical 6 eventually develop a powerful urge to commit suicide. The exact cause of this is unclear, and although there is as yet no direct link between suicidal urges and reduction in mental processing speed, many believe that they are not unrelated. Those infected with Radical 6 perceive the world to be moving at a fever pitch, as if they were a video cassette being fast-forwarded. For instance, although the patient believes that only 10 seconds have passed, in fact, 24.5 seconds have indeed passed. Given the increased speed of input, maintaining the ability to observe and reason would become a Herculean task. One theory holds that the disparity in time perception causes the brain to be flooded with mass amounts of information. Unable to keep up, it begins to fail. Whatever the cause, the infected invariably attempt to take their own lives, which is arguably the most terrifying aspect of this virus. Research suggests that a targeted antiviral could kill or at least disable Radical 6, but we have been unable to develop one. It seems our best hope now is to harvest antibodies from someone with a natural immunity to the virus. Thus far, however, we have been unable to locate a suitable subject, so I have continued my efforts to discover an alternative means of treatment. Given my current rate of progress, I predict that I will have a workable treatment within a decade or two. Okay. It is my fervent hope that humanity will be able to survive that long. The bodies of those dead from suicide are piled up along the roads leading into and out of the town. The entire area reeks with the stench of decay, and the skies are filled with the constant buzzing of flies. At times, their swarms are so thick that when one passes, it feels as if a cloud had gone over the sun. Okay, this is interesting. I feel like this is the first time that getting the gold file actually gave me less information than the game did. Every day I see more crows and rats everywhere, feeding on the dead. Ironically, the only healthy-looking creatures are the stray cats, who have grown fat on a plentiful rodent diet. The few humans who survived the outbreak have been locked away by the government in underground shelters. I don't know how many were saved, but I fear only a handful. Their survival is the only hope that remains for the human race. Oh Lord, please, let their future be a bright one. Oh, so we don't even mention the 2038. Whoa. That's a lot of information. Now we know what the virus does to you, though. If you get infected, your brain slows down by the root of 1/6. That's what, about 40%?
That isn't the important part. Those infected by Radical 6 eventually develop a powerful urge to commit suicide.
Yeah, you're right. That would explain why Quark was, well, trying to kill himself.
There are two other things in here that worry me. First, the part about how they haven't managed to develop a treatment for it yet. What do you make of that?
Oh, excuse me. What am I supposed to make out of it? Maybe they just hadn't found one when this journal was written. I mean, from what we know, there's a drug called Accelavir that cures it.
Exactly. But in the journal it says it might take 20 years to make something like that.
Hold on a second. I'm getting confused. When was this thing even written?
December 29th. No year.
Well, there's no way it was written this year.
Yeah, probably not. Anyway, moving on.
December 29th. Interesting. Maybe we are a decade in the future. Because that would explain why there was that news article and 100,000 people already dead.
The second concern I have is about the underground shelters it mentions.
Yeah.
The newspaper article said something about quarantining people too.
Another theory I just thought up is the sample that we need to give to provide for humanity. Is Kay just in this facility with whoever's making Accelavir? And the woman who is going to sacrifice her life, but I guess she's still alive, or was still alive until she was killed by Dio, who was later killed by Kay. Is that... Is that at all a sacrifice that's necessary? I don't know. I mean, there is already Excelavir here, so why would it take a decade for all this progress to be made on Excelavir, and the woman is still alive? Huh. Or was still alive up until Dio killed her. Oh well.
After we read it, we all thought the same thing. What if this was one of those quarantine facilities? But this journal seems to suggest the opposite. The few humans who survived the outbreak have been locked away by the government in underground shelters.
You're trying to say that this place might be one of those underground shelters, which would mean we're all supposed to be uninfected. However, Quark, we would have been thrown in here to keep us safe.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way to say for sure at this point, but it seems possible.
But Quark's been infected, right?
And maybe the virus got in somehow.
That would be bad. We were all fine, and Dio brought it in. That bastard.
Just think about it for a minute. If this is one of those shelters, a lot of things start to make sense. Maybe we've been here for a long time.
A decade.
Like, maybe they put us to sleep somehow.
Cryogenic.
Made us sleep for years, maybe even decades. While we were sleeping, the pandemic that the newspaper article talked about happened. And whoever had this journal made this entry.
And then once the antiviral treatment was finished, they woke us up?
Right. It's all just speculation, but...
If so, then why is the game being held? What's the purpose of the game, then? I think it's meant for us all to escape, and obviously Dio throws a monkey wrench in it, infecting Quark and everybody, and killing the old woman. But we don't know of the old woman in one of the routes, for some reason. And I don't know why. No, that doesn't make sense. I mean, it seems like a pretty plausible scenario, but... we were all captured before the pandemic started, right?
Yeah.
And how would they have put us to sleep for that long? How would they have known to do that? But most importantly, why the hell are we playing the nonary game if the point of this place is to save us? Throwing a bunch of people into a game that might kill them is a pretty weird way to protect them from a pandemic.
Yeah, you're right.
See? I mean, he's just saying what I'm thinking, but...
we don't have enough information to make any real conclusions. I think we should see if we can find anything else.
Thaya had barely finished speaking before she took off for the magenta door. Hey, weren't you coming to the infirmary with me?
Changed my mind. You can tell me about Quark later.
Okay. And with that, she headed to the lounge. She was gone. And I let out a long, tired sigh and started off toward the infirmary. Injection gun's still there. How's he doing?
He seems to be stable, as far as I can tell.
Still sleeping.
I see. Mind if I have a look?
Please, go ahead.
I made my way around the partition to the side of Quark's bed. The journal and the thing Fi and I had talked about would definitely need to be addressed, but for the moment the AB game was what I needed to concentrate on. Lives were at stake. Mine. And Quark's. Those infected by Radical 6 eventually develop a powerful urge to commit suicide. If the journal was telling the truth, then as soon as the anesthetic wore off, Quark would go insane again. What if we weren't able to restrain him a second time? What if he managed to kill himself before we got to him? Perhaps he'd just get out of the infirmary and go hide somewhere. On the other hand, it wasn't like we could keep anesthetizing him forever? I don't even know how you would pronounce that. There was only one way to save Quark, and that was with Excelavir. Unfortunately, Dio had stolen it. If we wanted to get it back, Clover and I would have to vote ally. But if I did, there was an excellent chance that I would end up dead. The question was, then what do I do? What to do? Sacrifice myself to save Quark? Or keep quiet about the danger he was in to save myself? It was so faint, I almost didn't hear it.
Grandpa. Grandpa.
He shifted a little, then fell silent again. It was enough, though. What on earth had I been thinking? How could I even consider letting a child die in my place? Suddenly, my cheeks felt hot with embarrassment and disgust. Well, let's think about this logically. You might be thinking of this, but it's not unheard of for people in the real world to do this. And Dio is no exception. That I had considered letting Quark die, even for a minute, was pathetic. There was only one choice. There had only ever been one choice. No way was I ever going to leave Quark to die. My hands tightened into fists as I looked down at him. Any uncertainty I'd felt before was gone. I knew what I had to do.
10 minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes. All players, please enter your votes. If no vote is recorded before the deadline has passed, any non-voting parties will automatically ally. Results will be displayed in the warehouse.
Looks like it's almost time. You two should head back.
What about you?
Not going. I'm worried about Quark.
But you're a solo. If you don't vote...
I'll automatically ally. I know. I heard the voice on the intercom just like you.
What are you going to do if Kay and Alice vote betray?
Nothing, I suppose. Just means I lost that round. I'd just be voting ally anyway. You know who my opponents are, right?
Yeah, Alice is down.
Alice only has one BP left. If I pick betray and they chose ally, I'd kill her. I'm not so desperate to escape that I'm gonna kill someone for it. And even if I was, I can't leave Quark behind. You see? Doesn't matter if I go into the AB room or not. My vote's the same either way.
Tenmyoji's mind was made up. Trying to persuade him to leave would have been pointless. Alright. Take care of Quark.
Of course. You worry about yourself.
Let's go.
Okay.
Luna and I headed out of the infirmary, leaving Tenmyoji and Quark behind. When we got to the warehouse, we found everyone else waiting for us. You're still here and present. So are you. Well, not quite everyone. I didn't see Dio. One other person was missing. Hey. Where's Dio?
Take a look at the doors.
Oh, he already went in. They're all closed. When we came in here before, the one on the far right was open.
And that would mean...
But he went in, I guess.
Exactly.
That bastard. He'd probably been worried that I might try and take the Excelavir from him by force, so he'd hidden himself in the AB room. A coward. I'd made up my mind to choose ally no matter what, but part of me had still considered trying to jump Dio if he'd dropped his guard. Well, I mean, I could have just always kept him in place and like his arms restrained from the bottle and then forced Clover to pick Ally for us, we would have kept our words. I didn't try anything to get the Accelavir from him. I just kept him in place. But then again, Dio probably would just want to and smashed it. Part of me had still considered trying to jump Dio if he had dropped his guard. Now he'd made sure I wouldn't get the chance to try.
Where's Tenmyoji?
Oh,
Luna explained Tenmyoshi's choice.
I see. Well, I guess that means I don't have to worry about him picking Betray.
right.
Are you going to choose Ally then? I mean, Kay can choose Betray and get out.
What will you guys be choosing then?
Ally, of course.
Because my BP is 6, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. As long as Tenmyoji votes Ally, I can't choose Betray. If I do, Kay's BP will go up to 9.
And unfortunately, we know that Kay will leave. Sigma from the future. Weird looking Sigma. Sigma, K. K. Why is K? K, Sigma. 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 K. K. I don't know.
But what if he forces you?
Ha ha ha. You needn't worry. I would never do something so crass.
Really?
Of course.
Then you don't need to go in there.
Excuse me?
Alice can vote by herself. Then we don't have anything to worry about, right?
Well, I apologize, but I'm afraid I can't agree to that.
Why not?
Why not?
I just can't.
That makes no sense.
Shall we go, Alice?
Hey, hold on a minute there.
I don't trust that for a fucking second, Kay. What the fuck? Kay continued briskly toward the AB room as if he simply hadn't heard Phi. Alice scrambled to follow him, perhaps concerned that he would lock her out. Only seconds later, they disappeared in the third room from the left. Okay, from the left. Weird. Excuse me.
I hope Alice is going to be okay.
Well, there's nothing we can do now. If Kay told the truth, she'll be fine.
5 minutes
Weird.
remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
Time's almost up. Come on, Luna.
Right.
They headed off at a trot toward the second room from the right, and were soon out of sight inside it. All right, Clover. Time for us to go.
Oh, okay. Right behind you.
I sighed to myself and headed toward the leftmost AB room. Leafmost? Alright, this is where I sacrificed myself for Quark.
What are you gonna do?
Maybe this is a test by Dio. Who knows? I don't really have a choice, do I? There's only one thing I can do. I'm going to choose Ally.
You can't! You'll die!
Well, you never know. Just because Dio told us to Ally doesn't necessarily mean he's going to pick Betray.
Do you really think a jerk like that is going to choose Ally if he doesn't have to?
He's chosen Betray almost every single fucking time, except with Luna.
No. No way! He's got 6 BP right now. If he picks Betray, then he'll have 9 points!
Well, what about you?
Huh?
You've got 6 BP too, right? If Dio chose Ally and we chose Betray, then you'd have 9 BP.
What? No, that's not... I didn't even realize that until you brought it up. I'm just trying to tell you that Dio is going to pick Betray. That's who he is.
And I'm trying to tell you that I've made up my mind. That's who I am. The only choice is Ally. It's the only chance we have to get that medicine back.
That's why Dio called you an IG. What makes you think he's going to give us the Accelavir, even if you do what he says?
Maybe he won't, but I can't guarantee he'll destroy it if I pick Betray. That's who he is.
Fine. If you aren't gonna listen to me, Then I guess I don't have a choice. I'll be pushing that button.
Ooh. Huh? Before I realized what was going on, Clover ducked past me and ran toward the voting machine. No! Stop! I snatched her by the arm and hauled backward with all my strength. Oh.
Ow!
Sorry. Guess that was a little too hard, huh?
Hey! What do you think you're doing? You can't just throw a girl around like that.
Well, you're the one who tried to trick me.
But you're gonna die. Dio's going to kill you. You can't do this. I don't want you to die.
Hmm.
10 seconds remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
Thanks. It means a lot to hear you say that, Clover. I gave her my best reassuring nod and turned to face the polling machine.
3, 2, 1. Round 2 of the Ambidex game has been completed.
I don't even need to wait. If I step out and it's not being triggered, I'm still alive.
Results will be displayed in the warehouse. Thank you for your participation.
Because Dio and others had already started leaving toward the door to pull down the lever when they had chosen Betray to get boosted up to 9.
Ambidex gates now opening.
He might have chosen Ally. I doubt it, because Clover had 6, and if he had put Ally and I had put Betray, Clover and I stepped out of the AB room. For several long moments, we just stared at one another. Words weren't necessary. Everything she would have had tried to tell me, I could already see in her eyes. Let's go. I turned and headed toward the results screen.
Sigma.
I heard her behind me, her voice barely louder than a whisper. The choice was already made. I stood up straight and kept walking. Okay. Yep. And K again. Huh. Fuck.
Results from round 2 of the Ambidex game will now be displayed. Please check your bracelet to see your updated bracelet points.
What?
Sigma's BP is...
Negative.
Suddenly, all eyes were on me. I felt their weight, but stood my ground. It was the result I had expected. I took a deep breath and closed my eyes. I didn't have to wait long. There was a sharp, quick pain in my wrist, barely even noticeable. I couldn't feel anything flowing into my veins, but I knew it was there. First would be the anesthetic Soparil. I blinked, and my vision started to blur. When I tried to think, it felt like my mind had been stuffed with cotton. My legs began to wobble, then gave out entirely as I crumbled to the floor.
Sigma! Sigma! Hang on! Hey! Sigma! Get up!
Sigma!
Oh no! Oh no, oh no, oh no!
Trying to open my eyelids was like trying to lift sheets of lead. My eyes had lost the ability to focus, but I could make out a blur that had to be Dio in front of the number 9 door. Damn it. You'll keep your promise, goddammit! I groaned and with a Herculean effort lifted my head, and then my sluggish body off the floor. Every step was a battle, and whenever I shifted my weight, my muscles threatened to give out again. But somehow, I forced myself ahead, a single thought burning in my mind. I would reach Dio. Then, at last... Whoa. The smudge of color faded into a recognizable person. I threw out my hand in front of him. Give it back. Give me medicine.
Give it back. Don't act like it's yours. Aren't we supposed to share everything we find here?
I don't care. Just hand me the medicine.
What are you talking about?
We found the Accelavir in the laboratory.
And Dio.
I'm gonna pass
stole
out.
What?
it. You mean he has it? Right now?
Yeah. So?
I kept my promise. Now you. I wasn't a fool. I knew the kind of person Dio was. There was a chance he wouldn't give us back the Accelavir. If he didn't, then I'd die with my hands around his throat. I'd gather as much of my mind as I could, and got ready to attack.
Fine.
Not quite what I'd been expecting.
Here.
With a shrug, he pulled the vial out of his pocket and tossed it toward me. I caught it and pulled the tiny glass bottle to my chest, worried that I might drop it. I was worried about that too, because he doesn't really have fine motor skills right now. The label said, unmistakably, Accelavir. It was the real thing. Clover, take it. I held it out toward her.
Right. Of course.
She quickly tucked it into her pocket. Good. Now at least Quark will be alright. With that, the last of my strength left me and I dropped to my knees.
Sigma! Are you okay? Sigma! Sigma!
I guess this is it.
First is the soparil, which puts you to sleep. 9 minutes later, the tubocurarine is injected, numbing your respiratory muscles. I guess you could say it'll really take your breath away.
9 minutes. Once the Soparol was injected, I had 9 minutes until the muscle relaxant followed it. About 4 minutes had already passed, which left me with 5, give or take a little. In 5 minutes, I would be dead. What could I do in 5 minutes? How could I save myself? I gave a raspy, quiet laugh, even with death staring me in the face. I seemed to be determined to struggle right up until the very end. Okay, Sigma. You can do this. Clinging desperately to what little consciousness I had left, I racked my brain for any possible solutions. Not tubocurarine. That's what's killing me. Going to kill me. What was it called? Radical 6, Accelavir, tubocurarine, immunoglobulin. The fuck is it called? I don't remember. Oh, fucking well. Any possible solutions? How could I save myself? How? There had to be something. Every problem, no matter how difficult, has a solution. There's always another option. Hopelessness is a state of mind. I just have to think. 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 Think! If there was a way out, I'd find it. I wasn't ready to give up on life just yet. There had to be an answer. Also, Kay can escape, by the way. We're gonna talk about that? To be continued. What of it? Can I actually... I don't know. I'm gonna save here. And then end the episode here as well. And then we'll get back to it, maybe? You know what? Let me back up real quick. Let me back here. Yeah, I guess so. With that, it can keep going, only for a little bit after. What ending would this be? The Quark ending or something like that? Because I need whatever is the solution to save Phi over here. I don't remember what it's called. But I technically could have administered it to K. Because his helmet could come off. I guess in the next episode I'll be going here for this AB game where I betray, which I don't really want to, because that means I'm killing Quark. Basically. Yikes. Really shitty situation that we're in. All because of fucking Dio. All of this, a lot of this started because of him. Him killing the old woman, him bringing on the infection. Jesus Christ, if Dio just hadn't shown up, he's been the antagonist this entire time. But then again, Zero the Third, and where the fuck are the bombs? I have no idea. Or not where the fuck are the bombs. The question I should be asking is, who is setting the bombs? I have no idea. But that's where I have to leave this episode for now. Thank you so much for coming out, and hopefully you're looking forward to more. In the meantime, have a nice day.